Before we begin our service today, I'll ask everyone to please silence all of your electronic devices, cell phones and the like, so we'll have the dignity and decorum that this Levaya deserves. My name is Rabbi Binyamin Blau. I have the privilege of serving as the Rabbi of Green Road Synagogue, where Dave was a pillar forever. We're going to start with a parak from Tehillim, a chapter from Psalms. Michtam li David, Shemreini el ki chasiti bach, amart l'Adonai Adonai ata tavasi ba l'alecha, l'kdosh misha ba'eretz heima v'adirei kol chefti bam. Yirbu atzvasa machar maharu, balasik niskehem idam, balasash mosam al sfosoi. Adonai minas chelki v'chosi ata tamich gorali. Chavalim naftali banimim, afanach las shofra alai. Avarekas Adonai yasher yatzani, aflilos yistuni kil yosoi. Shivisi Adonai lidagdi tamid, kimi mini balemot. Lakein samach libi v'yagel kvodi, apisari yishkon laveta. Kilos azov nafshi lisha, lusitein chatit choli roshokas. Todieni yarech hayim, tzavas machotes panecha, nimos bimincha netzach. We're gathered today, right before Pesach, to pay our respects to a beloved husband, father, Zaidi, great-grandfather, family member, community member par excellence, a true mensch, Chaim David ben Yitzchak Isaac, Mr. David Ingber. We say normally in the month of Nisan, this time of the year, that one doesn't deliver eulogies. It's a time of joy. But at the same time, we always say that it's important to learn life lessons from the individual who has passed. And I cannot think of an individual who is a better role model for so many areas of life, and there are so many lessons we can learn from the life that he lived. In many ways, I'm going to enumerate the ways he exemplified certain characteristics that we all aspire to achieve. He was a model for what it means to persevere. He went through the Holocaust. He lost all his family, except for one brother. And he met his beloved wife, Eileen, 74 years ago. And together they came to this community with nothing. And they were able to build so much. His attitude was always one of being positive. He never dwelt on the past. He never complained, despite all the hardships he had endured. In many ways, he took this attitude from his youth. Even as a young boy during the war, when he was only 12 or 13, he would sleep in the woods, jump on a train, leave his family, go out, do work, do whatever he needed to gather money, and come back for Shabbos to support his family. At an early age, he learned what it meant to persevere. He learned what it meant to have courage. He would tell his children all the time, tomorrow is a new day. You can do anything. Anything is possible. And that's what he did. He went from business to business, even though he had very little formal education. The war had robbed him of those opportunities. But he had inherent wisdom, a brilliant, brilliant man who everyone in the family turned to for advice. And first, he created Standard State Fish. Then he went into the poultry business. Then he became involved in real estate, each one from step to step with little training, but intuition, insight, wisdom, and incredible character. He would tell his children, you can never give up. You always have to have, I think he told me, koyach, courage, to go on and face the next day, the next set of challenges. He was a man of incredible integrity. Incredible integrity. His grandson said, with great pride, as he entered into the real estate business, into the building business that his father and grandfather have been a part of for so many years, he's always amazed that he'll meet older realtors and they'll say, older people in the field, and they'll say, your grandfather, he was such a prince of a man. He was a man who was honest. He was a man whose word was his bond. When he built a house, he was responsible for it forever. That's a great warranty. He was someone who stood by what he did with tremendous integrity. He was someone who is a model for us of what it means to engage in kindness, what it means to engage in acceptance. When family members went through difficult times in their life, it didn't matter where they were in their lifetime. It didn't matter what trouble they had been going through. He showed them unconditional love. When I spoke with the family last night, and we could have been there for hours, they had pity on me that I had to go back to my family. They were telling story after story, and one story that, in one unique quality that came through, shone through, time and time again, was an unbelievable, unconditional love and acceptance. Wherever they were, whatever state they were in, you came to Zadie's house, you came to your father's house, you were embraced without question, without any fanfare. He was kind to all who came to him. He did so much for the shul. When different phases of the shul were happening, he'd come himself and sweep up when they were building. In the same way, when members of the family needed help, even in his advanced age, at the age of 88, he'd come and pop out and make sure their buildings were being built properly, their homes were being built properly. He was kind to all who met him. In fact, one story that was so powerful, Kenny described to me he and his father were eating in a restaurant, and a man walks over to him and says, you remember me? Do you remember me from Coventry? Years before, he had seen a person who seemed homeless, who seemed destitute. And rather than just give him food and give him money beyond his way, Dave said, I'm going to buy you a meal, and sat with him and talked with him and encouraged him. The man came back and said, Dave, because of you, I went back to school and became a successful lawyer, and I'm going to buy you a meal today. That's the person he was. It wasn't just that he did acts of kindness. He rebuilt people. He believed in them. He trusted them. He built them up, and he changed their lives. But perhaps the quality that was most acute, that really defined who he was love. The unconditional love, the love of family. It was amazing. Whether you were his grandchild, his child, someone said outlaw. I don't like the term. You were someone who married into the family, you were treated all the same. If you were someone who needed help in business, a son-in-law who needed help in business, and you needed a loan, there was no hesitation. It didn't matter the amount, didn't matter what was needed. He loved his grandchildren, would do anything for them. His granddaughters delighted in telling me that when they would come to the house, as they did so often, Zadie got kicked out of his bed so they could sleep with Bubby. They don't ever remember Zadie sleeping there. He always slept somewhere else because they wanted to sleep with Bubby. And in fact, one night, when they needed various types of makeup, mascara, things for their nails, Zadie gets sent out 3 times till he bought the right materials. But he would have done it 100 times because he loved his family, and nothing was more important. He had lost everyone in the Holocaust but one brother. And when he found out where that brother was, or tried to find out where that brother was, he took 3 to 4 years searching, paying who knows how much money. It didn't matter. It was family. And he found his brother and brought his brother with his family from Europe and set him up and took care of him. He was an unbelievable prince of a man. Everyone who saw him loved him. Everyone who saw him respected him. When I was being interviewed to be the rabbi at Green Road Synagogue, replacing Rabbi Granitstein, who had been there for so many years, I went through the interview process. I went through the search committee, but when all is said and done, they said, before you can be appointed rabbi of Green Road Synagogue, you have to meet the originals. You have to meet the real Marmishers. And I met with Dave and Yabadal Achaim, the Radzillis, and they interviewed me. And if I passed their interview, then I was ready to be the rabbi of Green Road Synagogue. And I had the interview in Yiddish. I won't do that now. And I passed. And each Shabbos, he would come to shul, and everyone in the shul would go to give him, say good Shabbos and greet his hand, because we all loved him and respected him. I do have to take a moment to say that his family treated him with the same type of respect. Helene, you were unbelievable to him, and I don't think he would have lived so long without your love. I would go visit him when he was recuperating, and he was tired, but his wife said, you're going to be fine. You're going to eat. You're going to come home. You're going to be fine. And she kept him going for so many years. And Kenny would bring him to shul each Shabbos morning, 15 years, 20 years, unbelievable devotion, unbelievable love. And anytime I'd give Kenny the compliment, and I would say to him, and I apologize for embarrassing him yet again, that I wish I'm as good a son to my father as he is to his, and he would say to me, you don't understand. He was a better father to me. And the family said that repeatedly, time and time again. Every member of the family spoke about what he meant to them as a father, as a husband, as a Zaidi. He was a prince of a person. When he met someone, even when he met, Brittany described how proud you were. That when your fiancé, it's been a long day before Pesach. Rabbis have a hard time. I apologize. And Miller got a chance to meet him, and the first thing he could say, he met him only once, and he was in an advanced state. He wasn't the young man of old. And what did he say? Such a true gentleman. We are all going to be poor from his passing. We were all enriched by his presence on this earth. This community, the Green Road Synagogue, gained so much from him, and more than anything else, he had an unbelievable family. He leaves a glorious legacy of what it means to be a mensch, what it means to be a man of integrity, what it means to have love for a family unconditionally. Even the way he passed was with kindness to his family. He didn't want them to have a long shiva. He didn't want them to have a long period of observance. He was a man of humility. He even arranged for a beautiful day today when Friday was so blustery and terrible. Indeed, you measure a man by the stature, not by his physical stature, by the stature of the person that he was, to the heart that he had. He has really changed the face of this community, made an enduring legacy in his family. Hi Zachro Baruch. May his memory be a blessing to all of us. On behalf of all the grandchildren, I'd like to call up Joshua, to say a few words.
First of all, I just wanted to say I'm really grateful on behalf of the family to see everyone here. It's just really an honor to be able to see everyone and to remark a little bit on my grandfather. When I found out that he had passed, I sat down for a minute and I wrote down just a really short piece, and I wanted to share that with you. And this is what I wrote. My grandfather passed away last night. He was a man worthy of admiration who cared deeply for his family. He was wise, gentle, honest, hardworking, and successful at his many endeavors. He arrived here young, impoverished, and uneducated after fleeing Nazi persecution. He and his wife of nearly 70 years, who survives him, carved out a nest for their family with grit and savvy. I'm eternally grateful for his leadership and his tenacity. And I think this is the biggest thing that sticks out for me is, if you really want to know what a man can accomplish in such a short life, I think my grandfather was really a shining example of the American dream. And to me, he really represents the concept of a patriarch, of a man who started a family. And I have this recollection of their 60th wedding anniversary, and we were all sitting at a big table with a group of 24 people who were, healthy and educated and happy and a really strong family. And at the front of this long table was a little man. And I just think that image is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. And my heart really, I think, goes out so much to my bubby. I'm so grateful that everyone came here to honor my Zaidi, but also to share with her. So thank you, everyone.
As I noted at the outset, it is the month of Nisan, so there are certain changes to our normal funeral service. We don't say the Kamali, the memorial prayer. Instead, I'm going to read another parak of Tehillim, another chapter from Psalms. That will conclude the formal part of the service. Shir Malot, Mimamakim Kraticha Adonai, Adonai Shima Bekoli, Tienoth Nerka Shuvot Lekol Tachanunoi, Im Avonot Tishmar Ya Adonai Miyamod, Kim Chas Licha Liman Tivorei, Kivisi Adonai Kisa Nafshi V'Lidvaro Acholti, Nafshi Adonai Mishomrim Laboker, Shomrim Laboker, Yachel Yisrael El Adonai, Kim Adonai Yachesed Varbeimo Fedus, Vo Yivtes Yisrael, Mikol Avonosav. This concludes this part of our service. The interment will take place at Zion Memorial Park. The family will be sitting Shiva today at their home, 3415 Old Brainerd Road, from after the service until 8 p.m. this evening. And then tomorrow, from 1 to 3 p.m., contributions are suggested to the Green Road Synagogue. Again, Yehi Zichro Baruch. May his memory be a blessing.